Hey there guys, we're going to be going for one more Antenolla clear today. I already uploaded the quick and easy clear with Elena. I did the budget clear with Laswell. Now we're going for a personal clear for me. I have been wanting to use the original version of Cloud on a fight that can actually go through his rotation for a while. I tried it on Integer, he one-shotted. I tried it on Quirrell, it was over in like 2 turns. Now we're going to try it on Antenolla, and we're going to really get into Cloud's rotation. This is not a cheap clear, this is not really a guide clear, this is just me enjoying a unit I really like. So we're going to be doing Cecil. He's got the typical fire and earth resist for covering. He's going to be covering, and that's about it. He's covering. Mastermind Zahn is dual-wielding whips. He's going to be doing the breaks. He's also going to be refreshing our buffs with his spread ability, and that's pretty much it. He's actually not provoking this time. He could, but, you know, he always does it. He's getting a break. Epsilon Nicole is going to be doing LB fill, stat buffing, ice imbue, and that's pretty much it. Healing as well. I'm going to be using Lilliset. I'm trying to learn Lilliset's kit a little bit more. She's got this really overloaded kit, a lot of utility. Her skill names are completely confusing, so I'm trying to get used to her because I want to use her more. She's a really cool unit. Anyway, she is geared for full evasion, passive provoke. She's going to be the tank and LB fill, stat buffing, blah blah blah, all kind of stuff. Here is the original version of Cloud. This is not the remake Neovision Cloud. This is the old Cloud that got upgraded. I think he's a little bit more interesting and fun to play with because his LB is more, it's easier to use than the other Cloud. So in his base form, we're honestly not really using the base form for anything. We gave him Call of the Wild, and I technically geared him. He's got 300% plant killer in the base form, so this would be relevant. But I did a test run, and I know that we're going to end the fight before his base form can even do anything. And then the shift form is all about that LB. I did have to give him status immunity because we're not using a status immunity buffer, so that cut into his LB damage a tiny amount, not much. He does have 300% LB damage in the shift form, 300% plant killer, 180 LB damage. I couldn't quite get higher. That's good enough. And then Thomas built me one pretty much identical. Base form is technically geared for plant killer, although we're not using it. It's got Call of the Wild. And then shift form is going to be all about that LB damage and plant killer. We've got 220 LB damage, 300 plant killer. Okay, let's give this a try. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is use Lilliset to unlock herself for next turn, or unlock her stuff. Alright, Lilliset is going to Trance and Thorn Stance, so she can start powering us up next turn. Epsilon Nicole is going to use Enhancing Stance and Soulful Stance to start filling LB gauge a little bit. Let's see, Cecil is going to cover. And we're going to change stance. Zahn, we're not gonna do his vicious because it's random target. We're gonna do Thief in the Night, and we're just gonna do 2 whatever skills. Actually, I kind of want to. Nah, that's fine. That's fine. And let's break the gauge a tiny amount just to get ready for later. Alright, so clouds on this base form are currently, we're going to trigger smash and this double octa. We're not imbued or anything. This is going to be basically 0 damage. This is just going to help break the gauge a tiny amount and potentially get some crystal drops. Looks like we have consumed all the crystals, but there we go. We're good to go. Cloud's LBs are ready. Okay. So now we're going to shift, and we're going to start doing LBs every single turn in his shift form. And we're going to be using Nicole and Lilliset to enable that. Alright, so Cloud is going to shift, and then we're going to use his True Meteor Rain, which perfect chains with the dupe and its AoE. It's a really good LB, and it's really heavily backloaded as well. Before we do that, we're going to Imperil. We're going to use Lilliset to... Technique has no blind spots. Now, like I said, I'm learning her kit. It's a little confusing. Technique has no blind spots. Get distracted. And Thorn Stance. I believe that's correct. Alright, Nicole needs to imbue us still. So we're going to imbue with Nicole. Frozen Sword and Shield. And we're going to do Heroic Stance to unlock his LB thing for later. Alright, wait for this to finish. Alright. Now, we didn't break the gauge or anything, so this is going to do very low damage to the main body part, but this should easily take out all the leaves. Yep, they're gone. Dealt with. Alright, now Zahn is going to do his Vicious Strike 3 times to start breaking that gauge. Now, this is going to be a little boring to watch, you know, blah, but what can you do? Alright, Cecil is going to break the boss chain stance and into the light. Now, this is only a 60% break, but it's good enough. This is the fun part. This is why I much prefer Rosa as a gauge breaker. But we can't, because Rose is a lot quicker animation, and she's also not random target. We could have broken gauge on turn 1, where Zahn actually didn't. But Zahn is going to extend that Ice Imbue. Nicole's Ice Imbue only has partial uptime, but Zahn's going to extend that to make it full uptime. Okay. Fire and earth damage again. We're immune to all of it, so whatever. Status effects, we're immune to that from gear. Okay. We're just going to dual cast with Zahn just because it's quicker. We don't need a triple cast to get the rest of that gauge out of here. And we might even fill Cloud's LB from drops. Probably not. Almost. But we can use Nicole. It doesn't really matter. Nicole's good enough for it. Alright, Nicole's going to fill the rest of that LB, and we're going to do Anti-Magic Stance, because we are getting some magic attacks this turn. Okay, and now Cloud is ready to actually hurt the boss. We're going to wait for Zahn to finish, because I don't want to interrupt this. Okay. Let's do some damage. Now that the gauge has been removed. Pretty good. Alright, Lilliset is going to... we're going to do... Oh, we don't want to triple. We want to... I'll beat you down, get distracted, and Thorn Stance again. That's going to give us break immunity for later. Cecil is going to Into the Dark, and... we'll just refresh the break for now. Now we're going to take some non-elemental damage here. It's going to be pretty painful. But not much. We've got a lot of buffs up right now. So there's the mitigation on the boss. That mitigation buff is going to prevent us from getting a turn 4 clear or whatever. Yeah, we are going to DPS the boss again on this turn with his Cloud's LB, but that mitigation is going to really hamper our damage. Alright, so like I mentioned, this is the last turn of that Ice Imbue from Nicole. So we're going to Reflector, we're going to critical Cloud's attack buff, the Ice Imbue, and we're going to go ahead and just project it, just refresh that Imbue so it's up for the rest of the fight. Looks like Cloud's LB is good to go. So let's go ahead and do it. Now the boss does have 50% mitigation. It's going to do half as much as it would otherwise. Yeah, that mitigation is really obnoxious, but whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and Into the Light, Paladin's Protection, and just Saint's Breaker again. We're going to Barrier it with Nicole. Let's Heroic Stance and Anti-Magic Stance. Lilliset is going to... the boss is imperiled for 4 more turns. We're fine on that. Let's go ahead and get distracted. You'll get hurt. Let's do that twice, and let's do a Thorn Stance. That's going to fill LB gauge to max. There we go. We're good. Alright, so the boss's gauge is back. This is going to hurt a tiny amount, not really that much. When the gauge is up, the boss is much more powerful, so the damage and all hurts a lot more. But it's okay. We've got backup plans. Okay, so we lost our shift form. We're in base form right now. So now we're just going to go ahead and Buster, Rapid, and Limit Braver. That's going to give us an LB damage boost for next turn. No, oh, that is the wrong skill. So we're going to Buster, Rapid, and Limit Braver. We'll go ahead and do it before we do anything else. It's going to deal basically no damage because the gauge is up. Alright, Zon, going to catch me if you can. Let's go ahead and triple Vicious to start working on that gauge. Let's see. Cecil is going to double Paladin. We're going to Into the Dark, and we're going to use a big magic mitigation. Lilliset is going to... how's our LB? Our LB is good to go. So we're going to heal twice. It also fills MP. And Thorn Stance to unlock her stuff. Alright, so team is full... Lilliset just completely healed the team. That's so cool. Let's go ahead and LB with Nicole for the mitigation. Which Cecil doesn't actually need. That was more so just in case we didn't win by turn 7. But we're going to. We're going to. Zon's pokey Vicious Strike. So slow. Alright. And the boss's parasitic stuff that he's doing right now. Oh, Cecil, you are slow at covering, dude. That's not cool. That's not cool. You didn't cover that single target attack quick enough. What a jerk. Well, whatever. Zon, finish the gauge for us, please. And Cloud, let's go back into Meteor Rain and finish it off. We do need to summon an Esper at some point. Just to say we did all missions. So let's go ahead and do that. Summon an Esper. And... 6-turn victory. Very smooth. Other than Cloud being slow... not Cloud. Other than Cecil being slow at single target covering that magic attack on Lilliset, it's only an 80% chance to cover, so 1 in 5 chance it doesn't activate in time. It made that look a little bit worse than it would have, but that was a very smooth clear. I really like Cloud, and it's kind of funny that even that fight was too short for Cloud to really get into his entire rotation. He still killed that too quickly. The next fight is going to be Golem and Shiva. Maybe I'll use him on Golem and Shiva too. I really like the original Cloud. His LB, the fact that his LB is an AoE, perfect chaining with the dupe, backloaded chain, and he's true double hand in his shift form, unlike the original, the Neovision's Cloud. I like him so much better for LB damage. It's just cooler and more useful. He does need help filling his gauge, but the people like Lilliset, Epsilon Nicole, etc., can handle that. I could use Ignis to fill Bean Soup, but whatever. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So there was my favorite clear of the 3 I've done today. Hopefully the rest of you are having fun. See you next time.